And we're streaming. All right, what's up, people? It is Wednesday, October the 30th, Hallows Eve. So the day before Halloween. Welcome to the experience, people. I am the host. I am Drew, and with me, as always.
Justin from Spinebuster Tees and spinebustertees.com.
All right, how are you? How are you gonna be? Well, me, I know you're gonna be working, but you have any other plans after work for Halloween?
Nope, just go home.
Maybe watch some horror movies. Do that.
I watch horror movies all year round, so I don't know if that's really going to change much. So,
Right. Yeah, we're gonna do the same. We're actually gonna wake up early tomorrow and get some candy. Because we went to the store earlier to get some things we needed, and the store was fucking crowded, and it was just fucking like infuriating. So we're gonna wake up as early as we can so we can get there early enough and not deal with crowds, and just try and get some good candy.
yeah,
Because we usually I mean that's how we spend Halloween. We just hand out candy, and once we're done we watch movies, or we just do it in between. So I mean I have fun handing out candy. Um, just so I can see what everyone's dressed up as. So,
yeah,
but
should be fun. I think a lot of kids are dressing up as Art the Clown. That's why I've been seeing at the mall over the last few weeks because they're doing like costume contests and stuff like that. So,
that
so
movie, it's become, I believe it's become the highest grossing independent film of all time.
I saw this as the highest grossing unrated film of all time.
Right. It's a $2 million budget, made 50 million, which that's impressive. Good for them. I don't know if you heard
I
the
mean,
other
you
story.
figure it'll make a lot more though, since it's more mainstream.
Well, I was about to segue into another story I had about this, that there was a report going around that um, underage kids, teenagers, were actually buying tickets to The Wild Robot, which is another movie I want to see, but they're really sneaking in to go watch Terrifier 3, which they're doing the old school ways.
Right.
You know, but I think that kind of happened at my theater because like when I went, there was this whole group of of teenagers that they sat in one section and then they got up and sat in another section, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure they snuck in here. Like, I mean, because back in the day at Cielo Vista, to make a long story short, you can sneak in there because they used to have like the old school, like, what do you call it, like the ticket person in front of each section, like theaters 1 through 8, theaters 9 through 16, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they would take your tickets or whatever. And my brother, he didn't want to pay for me, so he would just say sneak in. I'm like, okay. So I would just kind of like act like I'm going to the restroom, or just look at everything and just sneak into the movies. I also don't think they gave a fuck if you snuck in.
Yeah.
But nowadays, since you're buying tickets online, it's assigned seating, you kind of have to get your tickets, because
Right.
then
Right. Right.
what happens if you're sitting in a seat and someone's like, "Hey, that's my seat," which
Right.
I've I personally haven't had to be in that situation. I've just seen other people be in that situation of like, "Hey, you're in our seat," and they're being dicks about it. But yeah, like there was like this whole group of teenagers that were watching it. The one thing I also thought was kind of weird was like somebody brought their kid, and it looked like they looked like maybe like 11 or 12, and I think they were on the spectrum, because they were carrying the kid, and it wasn't like a small kid. It was like kind of not a big kid, but like, I guess like bigger than small is the best way to put it. And again, she kind of looked like she was maybe on the spectrum, but she was like chill. She was
Yeah.
she was actually enjoying the movie. I thought she was gonna freak out, but no, she was actually enjoying the movie. So that was pretty cool. But I like Terrifier there. I enjoyed it. You know there was a point where I just got desensitized to the violence, because I was just like, I mean, I watched The Boys. I probably see just as bad as it is on there, over here. I just think people like, they're so used to those safe horror movies, like from Blumhouse, which I got nothing against Blumhouse. I don't, there's some Blumhouse movies I like, but like, I think they're so used to those movies that they don't remember that, back in the day, like in the 80s, that, slasher movies were, huge, and like there were a lot of them back in the day, like Maniac, for example. So I'm pretty sure you can attest to this because I think you've seen more horror movies than me. But
Yeah.
yeah, just like people aren't used to that kind of violence, and again, it's respectful that a film with such a small budget it can make this much money and much of an impact. But go ahead.
I mean, no, I was just gonna say they had. I mean, a lot of movies in the 70s were very violent as well. Not as violent as Terrifier, but you had a lot of grindhouse movies. That was
Right.
like super violent stuff.
Right. So I mean, it kind of looks like movies are kind of those kind of movies are kind of making their small little comeback. A lot of those I mean, yeah, the Terrifier was unrated, but like I'm talking more about movies that have such a small budget and use a lot of practical effects.
Yeah, well, thank God, because I've been a huge proponent of practical effects versus CGI. Like there should be
Right.
no reason there should be no reason why CGI has digressed in the last 10, 15 years.
I think it's because I think one of the bigger reasons because a lot of the VFX artists are underworked. Like the reason why it looks so good is because they had time to really, flesh it out and make it look crisp. Whereas nowadays you're hearing about, VFX artists, forming a union wanting to go on strike, which is, good because, if you give them these crazy, deadlines, then of course the shit's going to look like shit. So, yeah, I'm good with practical effects. I'm not like one of those people that like, goes everything needs to be practical. Like sometimes CGI can work, but when you don't make it look so obvious.
Yep.
Like in Twisters, for example. That was CGI, but it was also shot on a 35 millimeter, I believe.
Yep.
That's why, the CGI looked great in that movie. But I digress. But yeah, man, let's get started with a few things. Do you have any news?
Um, I mean, not really, no.
Okay. Not really any big news coming out other than I guess the Samantha Irving thing, which at this point is kind of, old hat. Her coming out and pretty much denouncing her being an announcer, saying, I never wanted to be an announcer in the first place. I'm like, all right, well, whatever. That's you. That's how you feel. But it is what it is. But um, so did you get a chance to watch Halloween Havoc?
Yeah, it was okay.
Okay. What was your favorite match?
I don't know, probably the main event.
We. Hold on, I need to look up the card because yeah, me and Jeff Lippman, we talked about it on Sunday. Go listen to that if you guys haven't. It was a pretty good show. It was about like an hour 15. So
Yeah, but it was yeah,
what was that?
it was okay.
It was a good show. Wasn't great or like monumental. I gave it like just like a B, just like a plain B. Um, God damn, I keep clicking on the wrong fucking thing. Okay. I gave the women's tag team match as my favorite match of the night.
Oh yeah, yeah, that too. It's that one was damn good. Um, yeah, Julia looked fantastic. Stephanie looked fantastic. All four women did pretty well, I thought, in the match.
Right. I mean, I'm more so. I mean, again, I like Julia. I've already said I like Julia. She's kind of won me over. I really like Stephanie. I think she's amazing. I think her
Yeah.
shit. And again, this is not really a knock on Julia. I think Stephanie's wrestling style is a little bit more my speed. I was kind of comparing her to like 1990s Eddie.
Yep.
Just like her stuff looks more. It looks more. What's the word? I guess more like real, not realistic, but like I'm not really a big fan of like the Japanese, strong style stuff. And again, Julia makes it look great. And again, like I mentioned, she won me over. But like Stephanie is just really fast paced and sharp and crisp.
High flying at times.
Right. There you go. And
She has
and
a
I,
she has a little flippity doodahs sometimes, you know.
right, right. Roxanne, again, we love Roxanne over here. I thought she really held her own for someone who's 22 years old. She can adapt to any style. She can adapt to, Julia's style. She can adapt to Stephanie's style. Um, Cora has been out for 8 months, so I didn't really give her too hard of a time, but I thought if anything, she was maybe the weak link. But again, she's been hurt, so I'm not gonna like kill her over it. I thought there were some points where I was maybe wincing a little bit where she was coming off the top rope. I'm like, oh, what are you gonna do? Like, because I don't want her to get hurt. But there was that one spot off the top rope where she went for a coffin drop, and
Well,
I was
well
like,
speaking of getting hurt, like freaking Vikingo got hurt again, and Chris Bay is
yeah,
seriously injured.
yeah, I feel
Yeah,
terrible for those guys.
yeah.
Like
So
Chris, like I don't know, like Vikingo. Like I just think about Rey Mysterio saying, I've been telling him to slow it down, and it's just like I don't know. Like again, a lot of these wrestlers they want to work a certain style, and it's like, well, what can we do? Like, what can anyone else do? That's the style they want to work, but it's like, and I hate to like kick someone while they're down, but it's like I'm surprised more people don't get hurt with all with
um,
a lot of spots that people like to work.
well, I mean, you gotta think about it this way too. If he doesn't work that style, would he be as well known? Probably not.
Right, but I look at it this way. I mean, I get why you need to do that because you want to get well known, so that way one of the bigger companies will sign you. Yeah, I get it. It's like what
Right.
CM Punk talked about it, where he said he went to an indie show and he didn't name the wrestler, but he said, somebody told him, I'm doing this to get over, and blah blah blah. So I get it. But again, I don't want anyone to get hurt. That's my thing.
Yeah, of course.
Chris Bay, same thing. Like I like Chris Bay. He's a guy I'm surprised. None of the bigger companies have tried to make a run at him. But um, again, I heard he's doing well. That's all that matters. Um, but oh yeah, and yeah, Bound for Glory was on Friday, I believe. The
Yeah.
Hardy Boys are the TNA Tag Champions. Cool.
That main event show too, by the way.
And then Joe Hendry lost to I almost said Nick Aldis, Nick Nemeth. Nick Nemeth for the TNA Championship after interference from JBL. So I guess it looks like oh yeah, and Jordan Grace lost the women's championship to Masha Slamovich. Um,
Good for
and
Masha.
then yeah, I like Masha. And then we'll talk about Jordan in a little bit, but yeah, Joe Hendry. Yeah, pretty much. Kind of looks like he's once his contract runs up, he's coming to the EU. Pretty much.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
But yeah, back to NXT. Yeah, yeah, Halloween Havoc is a pretty good show. The main event, I thought was good. I thought it dragged towards the end, especially with the spot where Trick is bleeding from his mouth, quote unquote, and then the paramedics have to like stop him or try to stop him from wrestling, even though it's a no disqualification match. But and then you got Bubba Ray Dudley coming out to. It's funny. Me and Jeff were talking about that thing with Bubba Ray Dudley and Ridge Holland, where Jeff's like, Ridge Holland didn't really say anything that was disrespectful.
Right.
All he said was, "I'm gonna beat, so and so." Like it would have made sense if maybe he like threatened Dave LaGreca and Bubba Ray steps in, but like no, he didn't really say anything that was disrespectful. And Bubba Ray's like, I gave you one time and I let it slide the next time. So then he interferes and sets up next Tuesday in Philly, which that's gonna be a big show. But we'll talk about that once we get to NXT. But yeah, the rest of the show was fine. But I thought the women's tag was really really good, really
Yep.
really good. Um, so there's that, and the SmackDown before that, the Motor City Machine Guns won the WWE Tag Titles. They defeated DIY in a good match, very good match. After which the Bloodline came out. Solo lately he's been getting a lot more comfortable on the mic. He's showing more personality. Like when was it Chris Sabin starts saying something and like Solo kind of mocks him and makes jokes. I'm like, oh, Solo's getting comfortable on the mic. Good for him. And then Nick Aldis, um, tries to prevent them from making the match now. So then they end up making the championship match right then and there after their match with DIY, which kind of told you what was going to happen. Very quick match. Jimmy Uso comes out in a hoodie, and then Roman Reigns comes out, leaves him alone, and then you see another hooded figure in the back, and it's Jey Uso.
Right.
Who I don't know. At this point, do you think they're just being like ironic about the hoodie spot?
Well, I mean, I think it's really for the crowd more than anything else. But
It's just it's funny to me, but um, and then the Motor City Machine Guns win. They're the new tag champions. After which the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, embrace while Roman stands there sadly. But uh, what did you think about the Motor City Machine Guns winning the tag titles in 3 weeks?
great, great. You got to establish one of the best tag teams in the world and push a storyline forward with the bloodline, the two bloodlines. So totally am cool with it.
I'm cool with it too. I like them. Do you think that would have been the Lucha Bros spot?
Absolutely.
Oh man. Like I forget. There's been like conflicting stories with that. There's a story that Tony Khan added more time to Ray Phoenix's contract, and then Dave Meltzer came out and said that's not true. So I don't really know what to believe, but I really do hope they get out of there soon and do come to WWE just for their sake. But I digress. But the rest of SmackDown, you had I almost said Game 7. Well, I guess Game 7. Carmelo Hayes versus Andrade with LA Knight as a special guest referee, and the whole time he's wearing his championship belt. And then he fucks up the match. And then Nick Aldis gets mad at him and tells him, you messed up the match. So at Crown Jewel, you're going to be defending your championship in a triple threat. So there's that. Um, and yeah, and again, SmackDown, unless I'm forgetting something, SmackDown, for the most part, decent show, like always, but, a big chunk of it was Bloodline. So, um, so there's that. There's Halloween Havoc. Raw was not good this week. Raw was kind of a stinker. Seemed very again, it just wasn't very good. Like no big stars, no CM Punk, no Drew. Gunther did a pre-taped promo. Um, the main event was Damian Priest versus Dominic, which was kind of weird. Um, Dominic won by a roll up, and then Damian beat his ass, and nobody in the Judgment Day came in to try and defend him, which I thought was weird. So I guess they're setting up maybe a triple threat with Gunther, which okay. Um, and then you had Bronson Reed and Seth Rollins fight outside, and Bronson
Right.
Reed beat him again. What else happened? That was of note. Uh, the War Raiders are now the number one contenders for the Raw Tag Team Championships or the World Tag Team Championships. In a really kind of an odd match. I don't know. I really don't want to go through it, but yeah, Raw this week was not very good. It was very no bueno. It just was very subpar. Just maybe the worst Raw of the year if I had to pick one. Do you have any thoughts on Raw?
I thought Raw was decent. I didn't think it was bad. I mean, they did obviously build storyline, and there was a little twist that I was expecting with Solo. It looks like apparently looking to ask Sami Zayn for help.
I forgot about
Um,
that.
yeah, so I mean, I did really enjoy that right there. Um, Bronson Reed, I think definitely needs to beat Seth Rollins at Crown Jewel too as well. But outside of that, I mean, oh yeah, also you mentioned of the War Raiders too. That was pretty cool. But but outside of that, I mean, like I said, I didn't think the show was great, but I didn't think it was that bad either. So
I thought one of the Sami Zayn spot. So which I haven't read any spoilers for Friday Night SmackDown. I'm trying to stay away from. I only really saw one that they posted online. It's about a match at Crown Jewel, so we'll talk about that. Um, Kind of the funniest spot of the night to me was Karrion Cross telling the Miz, go talk to the Wyatt Six because one of my guys took a bullet for you, and if you don't, I'm gonna break your legs. So I like seeing Cross have more personality on the mic. He looks like he's more comfortable, especially with Paul Ellering gone.
right,
And then R-Truth smacking Miz and telling him, good luck with the Y6, y'all gonna die. And then apparently in a I guess a Twitter video, Karrion Kross reveal that the White Six kidnapped Miz. So there's that. But and then going back to the Sami Zayn spot, just in case anyone didn't see it. So Jey Uso and Jimmy opened the show, and they talked about their problems. Um, you know, Jay saying, in the 6 months since Mania, we've changed. Now everyone knows you as Jimmy, and they know me as Jay. I became Intercontinental Champion. I've done well on my own. And then the rest of the Bloodline came out, tried to attack him, but then Jimmy and Jay got the upper hand. And Adam Pearce, was pissed off at Nick Aldis on the phone, saying, "Why'd the Bloodline come here? I approved Jimmy coming here, but why'd the rest of the Bloodline come here?" They get to the back. Sami Zayn wants to talk to Jay, but he still has hard feelings about Jimmy, and Jimmy still has hard feelings about him. Sammy tells him, why are you getting back with him, or why are you talking to him again? Did you not forget what happened? Yada yada yada. And then Jay says, "You won't understand because you're not family, oos." Ooh. As they get to the back, Jay tells him the conversation didn't go well. Jimmy's like, "I told you." And then Jay goes, "Hey, Sammy stepped up while you were gone." And then Jimmy offers to talk to Sammy. As he's walking out of the arena, he sees Sammy talking to Solo. So that's going to set up a future storyline heading into War Games.
Right.
But that was Raw. That was the gist of Raw. All right, so let's go to NXT. NXT was really good. It's usually very good. NXT this week I thought was really, really good. Again, very female oriented, and I'm not complaining because last week, the women for the most part they own the show and it's showing the ratings. They got a big increase in the ratings. I haven't seen the ratings this week, so we'll get to that. But the show opens with a casket match, the first ever female casket match with Wendy Chu and Tatum Paxley. Tatum Paxley dressing up as a video game character was Alice in Wonderland. I forget what the game is called, but and then Wendy Chu dressing up, I think, as like Nightmare on Elm Street, or not Nightmare on Elm Street, Nightmare Before Christmas. This is really fun. This is a really fun match. You kind of figured where it was gonna go. A lot of funny spots with like a bed frame and a dollhouse, which the crowd popped for. Especially when Wendy Chu threw Tatum through her dollhouse, the whole crowd chanting "Holy shit! Holy shit!" And funny spot with the casket where Wendy throws Wendy throws Tatum in the casket, closes it, but then Tatum puts her pillow in between the crease of where the casket closes, so she's still technically in the match. And then Tatum won the match, so good because Tatum hasn't really had a big win in a while, and I like Tatum. I want to see Tatum featured more prominently on card, which she is, but like I want to see her in like win bigger, high profile matches. But did you have any thoughts on this match?
That was a fun match. It was perfect for NXT TV. I didn't think it needed to be on the pay per view. This is a perfect TV match. Taya winning is a right option. She's a very popular, very very popular. So I think it was a good booking decision. Fun match.
All right. Then next we get to Trick Williams, who calls out Bubba Ray Dudley to be his tag team partner for next week. Bubba Ray, comes out and says, I could wear, my classic camo. I can bring back the tie dye. I can wear my glasses, but I'm gonna have to say no because I don't want to take another spot from somebody who deserves it more. I appreciate it, but the answer is no. And then later in the night, Rich Holland confronts Ethan Page, where they talk about Halloween Havoc, yada yada yada. Bubba Ray Dudley comes out to get in Rich Holland's face. And then Trick Williams comes out afterwards to make the save, and then Bubba Ray, asks Trick, "You still need a tag team partner for next week? You got it." So that's more than likely going to be the main event for Philadelphia. RVD was in the house. RVD was in the back watching Bubba Ray's promo. And then you can see Wesley in the back kind of sneering at him and then going after him. So which is something that we'll talk about in the main event. Other matches announced for next week. In Philly, you got Lola Vice versus Jada Parker in a hardcore match with Don Marie as a special guest referee. So
random. I mean, it's not random because it's obviously in the ECW arena, but I wouldn't think of Don Marie as the first person.
and I like Don Marie, but like
yeah. I mean, I would have seen maybe Francine maybe would have been involved or.
Well, she's gonna be there. She already announced on her Twitter that she's gonna be there.
Well, I'm talking about to referee the match, but
No, I know what you mean.
yeah.
Or Bill Alfonso.
Yeah. He's gonna call it right down the middle.
Let's go, Daddy. But I mean, if Shane Douglas didn't hate everybody, he probably couldn't have been involved. But whatever. But there was that match, the tag match, and then another match that we'll talk about in a bit. So, Tony D'Angelo had a phone call from someone from his past, which turned out to be Nunzio. So Nunzio is going to be back in Philly next week to confront Tony D'Angelo.
Is it Nunzio?
It sounded, dude, that's Nunzio.
I know.
He's like, brother, that belt looks good on you, but it looks better on me. I'll see you next week. So it'd be nice to see Nunzio. I've always liked Nunzio. Then he had Heritage Cup Championship match. He had Charlie Dempsey versus Lexus King. Charlie Dempsey trying to prove a point. He doesn't want to be like his dad. He doesn't want to be a heel anymore. He knows people don't trust him. William Regal offered him his services. So him and Charlie Dempsey had a match, a decent match, pretty good match. During it, Lexus King hurt his knee, quote unquote. And during commercial break, it looks like they're about to stop the match, and Lexus King decided to just rub some dirt on it and wrestle for the rest of the night, or rest of the match, I mean. And really sold that injury. I mean, I haven't really heard about Lexus King actually being hurt. There's a spot in the match where William Regal throws in his classic brass knucks.
Right.
Lexus waves it off and says, "No, I'm not going to do it that way. I'm not my father." And in the end, Charlie Dempsey wins, but Lexus King probably wins the respect of the NXT crowd. So, but do you have any thoughts on this one?
No, that was a very good story that was told in the match, and I thought the match itself was pretty good.
Right. And just showing vignettes for next week with Lola Vice and Jada Parker, which are pretty good. Now we get to the debut of Zarya. Zarya versus Brinley Reese. Very impressive. Very, very impressive from Zarya. Again, never seen her work. I literally never heard of her until right around the time when Stephanie Vacour and Julia were signed. So never saw her. I'm seeing her now. She looks fucking impressive. Didn't botch at all. I thought Brinley Reese did a good job selling for her. So good for Brinley. And the fact that she has an F5 is really impressive too. So she looked like $1 million out there. She's another star that Shawn Michaels found. So good for Shawn. After which you had not Toxic Fatal Influence come out. The new Women's North American Champion, Fallon Henley. They want revenge from Sunday when Zarya ruined their moment.
Right.
And then you had Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade to come out to aid them. And then you had Stephanie Vacour and Julia come out to help. Then you had Kalani Jordan come out to help. Roxanne says, it's still 5 against 4. All of a sudden, you hear the sirens go off, and it's Jordynne Grace. So Jordynne Grace is back in NXT. And that was really fucking cool. That was really, really fucking cool. And lo and behold, it sets up a match for next week, a 10-women tag match.
Yep.
So you got the one team of Jordynne Grace, Zarya, Stephanie Vacour, Julia, and Kalani Jordan versus Fatal Influence, Cora Jade, and Roxanne Perez. Overall, what'd you think about about Zarya's debut match in the segment itself?
Zarya, great. She has a bright future. And six women, 10 woman tag, great idea. Just shows you how deep the women's division NXT is. To perform, to have 10 women in a tag team match next week and have it make sense because of connecting storyline. So I'm looking forward to that.
Right. I'm happy to see Jordan Grace back as well. Afterwards, there was a backstage segment with the 5 baby faces talking about next week, and then Rhea Ripley comes in. Rhea Ripley comes in to offer some words of wisdom to the new NXT standout Zarya, a fellow Australian. Later on, you saw Rhea Ripley. She looked like she got beaten up and bloody in the parking lot, while you see Liv Morgan and Raquel walk away with a baseball bat. And yeah, they really bloodied her up. I mean, granted, it was makeup, but like that makeup looked really convincing because they looked like they fucked her up. And it was announced that Rhea Ripley had a broken orbital socket. I think that's the terminology. So she's going to be out for a while. So I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, it was pretty cool how they really went out of their way to make that shit look legit. So
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, Kalani Jordan versus Nikita Lyons. Kalani Jordan wanted a rematch, and Nikita Lyons came in and said, "I want a match." So they just made the match between these two. Pretty quick. Rizzo came out because she found out that Nikita was the one that attacked her from the week previously, and Kalani won. After which Rizzo comes out to beat her up. And there was kind of a funny spot where Kalani was like, "Wait, what are you doing?" And Rizzo's like, "She's the one that attacked me." And Kalani just goes, "She's the one that attacked you?" And then she like grabs her and swings her outside to like help her beat up Nikita. So that was kind of a funny spot. So
Rizzo
again,
can give me all the gabagool.
Rizzo is ooh, she is chef's kiss. Wow. Um, even though she's not really Italian, but yeah, I'll
Doesn't
keep the
matter.
fan.
That
I'll keep the fantasy
doesn't
in
matter.
my head. Then we already talked about the Bubba Ray Dudley spot. NXT Tag Team Championships, Fraxium versus Javon Evans and Cedric Alexander. Fantastic match, as you can all expect. Except the ending was a little wonky, but you kind of had a feeling where the ending was going to go. Wesley comes out and
Well,
causes a distraction.
before we just get straight to the ending, that opening sequence with Javon and Frazier was fucking fantastic.
I want a singles match between those two. I need to see it.
That was like I was very never mind.
No, say it.
No, it's okay. It's
Come on, man.
irrelevant.
Come
It's
on, say it.
irrelevant.
I
Yeah,
want to hear it. I want to hear it.
it's okay. It's all right.
All right. Anywho,
All I was gonna say, that was a very AEW opening sequence, which I liked.
okay. All right. Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, good match. The ending, Wesley comes out to cause a distraction and leads with Javon leaving the match to attack Wesley, and Fraxium gets the win. Again, fantastic match. I want to see Nathan Frazier and Javon run it just by themselves, but
Yeah.
afterwards, Wesley and Javon are fighting in the back. They separate. RVD comes in and just tells them, I got an idea for next week. So, uh, triple threat. I'm assuming Wesley, RVD, and Javon.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, I don't know, but we'll see.
Which I will love to see. I don't want to see
Well,
RVD as a special guest referee because there's already a special referee spot.
I mean, not even just that. I mean, I love RBD, but I don't, I don't think it's necessary for him to be wrestling. But whatever. Just like Bubba Ray, I don't think it's necessary for him to be wrestling. This all feels manufactured and not,
Well,
but
I mean,
whatever.
they've been hyping the show up as like you're in the ECW arena. So
Yeah,
I
but I mean, they could have done it differently instead of just starting adding former ECW talent to matches. They could go for other people. What they could do is, oh man, maybe have RVD as a guest timekeeper or whatever. Then get him involved in the finish versus actually have him wrestling in the match. Same thing for Bully Ray. Get him involved in the finish instead of actually having wrestling in the match. But whatever. I mean, if it's gonna make people happy in the crowd, that's all that matters. So I don't,
right,
who cares about my opinion?
right, and also it's on next Wednesday because Tuesday is election night. So it'll be on Wednesday, going head to head with AEW.
Well, I mean, are we gonna be alive after next Tuesday? Is the question.
Are we gonna be alive?
Are we gonna be alive?
Why would we be dead?
This this country's going to shit. It doesn't matter who wins. There's gonna be riots, man. Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, I stay away from it. I'm just gonna let everybody destroy themselves.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna be dead, brother. No, I'm just kidding.
Brother. Yeah, NXT was great. NXT last night was great. One of my favorite NXT shows of the year, actually. Yeah, I'm still thinking about that women's segment. I thought I thought that's what really made the show. But yeah, next Wednesday again, it'll be a special Wednesday NXT going head to head with AEW. I'm gonna try to get Jeff Lippman on because we talked about it on Sunday, so it should be a fun show. I did see what happened on AEW tonight. I know Private Party won the tag team championship, so good for them.
Yeah, I was actually pretty happy to see that.
Yeah, I'm happy for them because yeah, they've been around since the beginning of the company,
Yeah.
and I remember they beat the Young Bucks in the tournament to become the it was a tournament to determine who would become the AEW Tag Team Champions, and they beat the Young Bucks in the first round.
Right.
They didn't end up winning. I think what was it, like Kenny Omega
No,
and
it was SCU.
I remember that shit. But so yeah, good for Private Party. But again, like you say, let's wait for the payoff. But
It ain't gonna be no payoff. I mean, well, the payoff happened already. They won. That's the payoff. The payoff is the way they won tag team titles. I think what you meant. What's the follow up? I think your tag team division just got weaker. I'm happy for Private Party, but to me, like and Tony Khan's not going to use these guys. He wasn't using these guys before they were even the tag team up. But them as champions, like forget about it. The division's dead.
right.
Believe it or not, the Young Bucks kind of helped. The identity of the tag team division. It was a little bit more relevant. Like fucking main evented. It was Sting's retirement match, but still, that's where they're at several months ago. And now look at the division. I mean, I don't know. I just don't believe in Tony Khan right now.
You don't? Do you believe in Joe Hendry?
I'm starting not to believe in him either.
Oh God, no! Say it ain't so, Justin. Say it ain't so.
Just
Oh, by the
saying.
way, Jeff made a new catchphrase for you.
Sure.
It's no Justin, no peace.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, because like we were starting the show, I'm like, yeah, Justin, Justin's not gonna come on, blah blah blah, and he's like, no Justin, no peace.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, that could be a shirt. No Justin, no peace. Um, anything else interesting happen on AEW tonight?
Oh yeah, Bobby Lashley debuted.
Oh, finally, what did he do?
Beat the shit out of Swerve.
Oh,
Not
makes sense.
that and I mean this is interesting, but I don't care about it. Well, the Young Bucks, they ran out of the arena, they left the arena, and then basically Moxley's group attacked Brandon Cutler, beat his hand with a ball peen hammer, broke his hand apparently. The Young Bucks are gonna come back as baby faces, and I am not looking forward to that. They're gonna be saving the company from, oh Jesus, just kill me now.
All right. But that was Dynamite, people. That
Oh,
was Dynamite.
Tony Khan took a picture with Private Party.
Is he
Uh,
hugging them?
it was kind of like the Triple H thing.
Well, you know how Tony Khan likes his hugs, likes his weird, um, subtly sexual hugs.
No, it's not that. He's doing the Triple H thing. I'll just say that.
All right. But is that all on Dynamite?
You
Anything
probably
else?
saw more. You saw more than me. I don't know. I don't know.
I just saw what I saw, bro.
Yeah, sure. AEW sucks. Let's keep going.
All right. Crown. So let's talk about Crown Jewel.
Sure.
Crown Jewel will be this Saturday. Do you want? Are we doing a show on Saturday? Or did you want to do a show? That's what I'm asking.
I mean, I think there's a local wrestling show I may end up going to this Saturday, so I probably cannot, unfortunately.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Probably
Oh.
probably see if I can find somebody else. If not, we just won't do it on Saturday. But yeah, Crown Jewel is this Saturday, November the 2nd, in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, at the Mohammed Abdo Arena, and 7 matches, which is pretty, shocking for WWE standards now. But 7 matches. Let's start with a 6-man tag match that was announced on Friday, or the tapings for SmackDown. Roman Reigns and the Usos versus the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa, and/or Jacob Fatu. The OG Bloodline, I'm assuming.
No, I'm going with the new bloodline. Reason being I'm saying that is because, I mean, what would be the reason why the OG bloodline will want to have another match against the new bloodline for War Games?
Well, we got to get Sammy in.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, but
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I think they need to have a reason to have the match in the first place. So it's just my opinion. I'm gonna go with.
No, you're right. Right. It can be like a thing of they feel like they're still undermanned because you got Jacob Fatu as the wild card there. So, yeah, that's how you bring in Sammy. So I'm gonna change mine. I'm gonna go with the Bloodline 2.0. Fatal 4-way tag team match for the Women's Tag Team Championships. Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair versus Damage Control versus Metaphor versus Chelsea Green and Piper Niven.
Going with the champs to retain.
I'm going with the champs too. Triple threat for the WWE United States Championship. LA Knight versus Andrade versus Carmelo Hayes.
LA Knight, but like when LA Knight like on Friday, he kind of had like some heel like tendencies,
Right.
or was that just me?
I mean, you're not alone. It was kind of a fucked up way to end the match because it's just like, why don't you just do a triple threat to begin with? But yeah, LA Knight, ever since he became champion, he's kind of lost a little bit of steam. That was kind of my worry about him winning a title because it's just like, where do you go from here? I mean, you look at Braun as the Intercontinental Champion, he has like a plethora of opponents. LA Knight, it's just like, okay, who else besides Andrade and Hayes?
Well, I got LA Knight retaining.
Yeah, he's probably gonna retain.
I didn't even know his the strap for his title has the LA Knight logo on it. I didn't even notice that until Friday.
Right.
It was probably there already, but I didn't know.
Right. Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. This was announced last Friday when on SmackDown when Randy Orton asked Triple H if he could wrestle Kevin Owens. Triple H said, I'm protecting Kevin Owens from you. He's unhinged. But I'll give you the match anyway. So, I'm gonna go with Kevin Owens. I like unhinged Kevin Owens. Him as a face, I thought he was getting a little stale for a little bit. So unhinged Kevin Owens, I think, is more interesting. But what do you think?
Yeah, Kevin Owens.
So he's probably going to win with some heel tendencies.
Yeah.
Seth freaking Rollins versus Bronson Reed. You brought up earlier that you think Bronson needs to win. I think he will win, and I'll tell you why. I think the attack on Monday, the story could be that Seth isn't 100%. So Bronson wins by taking on a Seth that, isn't 100%. So Bronson's gonna win, and Seth will probably win the next match.
Yeah, I think that's the route that we're going to end up going. Yeah, I definitely believe that.
So Liv
And
Morgan.
also as well, I mean, I didn't even mention, but I also think that Sami Zayn is going to get involved somehow in the main event.
Oh yeah, probably.
I mean, there's no solid show out Sami Zayn at this point.
Yeah, you're right. Liv Morgan, or no, champion versus champion for the inaugural Women's Crown Jewel Championship. The Raw Women's Champion, Liv Morgan, versus the SmackDown Women's Champion, Nia Jax. If
I
Tiffany,
sorry, go ahead.
if Tiffany doesn't if Tiffany doesn't cash in, then who cares?
Well, for the prediction of the match, I got Liv Morgan.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, like they need to just let Tiffany cash in already because I think there's maybe some interest waning, but Liv's gonna win because I think Liv has maybe a little bit more momentum. Nia, ever since she won that title, has lost momentum. So I'm gonna go with Liv winning and Tiffany pot. I think Tiffany's gonna fuck with the match and then cash in, or they might hold it up until Friday. Inaugural match for the WWE Crown Jewel Championship for the men. Gunther, the Raw World Heavyweight Champion, versus Cody Rhodes, SmackDown's WWE Champion. I think Kevin Owens is going to get involved and fuck over Cody, and that's how Gunther wins.
Think someone else is going to get involved.
Like who?
Goldberg.
Why Goldberg? No, not Goldberg. God damn it. I do not. I do not want to see Goldberg versus Gunther. I do not. I don't. I do not.
I mean, maybe we'll see. But I mean, you could probably get Kevin Owens out there. I don't know, but I don't know. I see one Raw person winning, and one SmackDown person winning, and I definitely see Liv Morgan winning.
Right.
I just don't. I mean, Gunther ain't gonna beat Cody clean, and vice versa. Cody ain't gonna beat Gunther clean. They both champions gotta be protected here, and there's gonna be a wonky finish. I just think that it really should be Gunther, but I don't know. We'll see.
That's Crown Jewel. Let's get to ratings and a couple other things I wanted to run by you. Let's get to ratings. I just said that. Friday Night SmackDown from October the 25th drew a 1.418 and a 0.43 in the demo. The week prior, they drew a 1.378 and a 0.42 in the demo. So, slight increase. Rampage from October 25th drew a 241 and a 0.9 in the demo. The week prior, they drew a 234 and a 0.6 in the demo. So a slight increase. AEW Collision drew a 321 and a 0.9 in the demo. The week prior, they were 346 and a 0.10 in the demo, so they went down. WWE Monday Night Raw from October 28th drew a 1.4, 01 and a 0.42 in the demo. The week prior, there were 1.578 and a 0.51 in the demo, so they went down. A decrease for NXT this week. 588,000 and 0.14 in the demo. Last week there was 702 and 0.16, so very big decrease for them. So all right, those are ratings. And you more than likely saw this, but I just want to bring it up again. The Sports Illustrated put out their top 20 greatest WWE superstars of all time.
Yep.
So if anyone doesn't know, Sports Illustrated, like I said, put out their list. Lately, we've been doing a lot of lists. We did the
Yeah.
PWI men's and women's, and last week we went through a horror movie list. I don't know. It's an interesting conversation starter. So I'm gonna. There's only 20. I believe, yeah, it's just 20. So I'm gonna go through 20. Starting with number 20, Becky Lynch.
Mm, no, she's not
No,
top 20 of all time.
no, no. I mean, if you're doing a top 20 women's list, yeah. But like,
Oh, it could be like top 5 at that point, but yeah.
right, not even Trish. I mean, Trish is, she's the only woman on there. Like, not trying to be sexist, but this very much seems like a quota type of thing of like, we need to throw a woman on this list. But again, just a theory. Number 19, Mick Foley.
He is top 20.
Okay. Yeah, Mick Foley, Mankind, over as fuck in the WWE, so what else can we say? Number 18, Chris Jericho.
Yeah, I'll have him up there. Yeah, for sure.
Maybe top 30. Number 17, CM Punk. Yeah, he moves merch, sells tickets, gets ratings. So yeah, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Number 16, Andre the Giant.
Too low.
Yeah, he needs to at least be in the top 10. It's fucking Andre the Giant. Number 15, Randy Orton.
Yeah. I think that's about right for him.
Yeah, that's fair. Number 14, Edge. Mm.
Probably a little bit
I,
lower. Probably a little bit lower, but yeah, I think he's top 20 for sure.
if it's, I would say maybe top 30, top 40.
I
Again,
wouldn't go. I wouldn't say top 40. I mean, that's.
I mean, I like it. I like Edge, but Edge doesn't. Edge, yeah, I'll keep it at that. But I wouldn't put him that high, in my opinion. Number 13, Roddy Piper.
I don't know. Maybe I think it's top 25. I want to say.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, the only reason why I'm saying that is because, like, I mean, it was a different time, but like he never won like the world title, but also at the same time he was very, integral part of the Rock and Wrestling connection, and like he was, the first major movie star and crossover star for WWF at the time. I'm not even counting Hulk Hogan because Hulk Hogan technically wasn't even WWF during Rocky 3. So
So in all fairness, should he be in the top 10 at least?
no, top
No.
25.
Okay. Number 12, Kurt Angle.
He's too high.
How low would you get him?
In the 25 range.
Okay. I'm biased because I love Kurt Angle.
I mean, we're talking about pure pro wrestling. He's like
Number one.
Top 3 for sure.
But we're talking about biggest superstars. Like he should maybe be 25 at best. Number 11, Macho Man. He should be higher.
He's my favorite of all time. I gotta hear the rest of the names, but I think he should at least be top 10. But he's right there, so I'm not gonna like really, bitch about it.
Number 10, Bruno Sammartino.
He should be higher.
I mean, the longest reigning WWF or WWE champion of all time,
or any championship of all time, for the men at least.
Number 9, Bret Hart.
Yeah, definitely top 10 for sure.
The excellence of execution. Number 8, Shawn Michaels. Should probably be a little higher.
I think Shawn and Bret should be higher.
Right. I mean, like everyone wants to do their like Mount Rushmore. Like we've had this whole Mount Rushmore conversation. If we're doing a Mount Rushmore for WWE, WWF, they're up there. Like definitely. Number 7, Triple H.
He should not be higher than Shawn and Bret. Or even Randy Savage. I love Triple H, but I just hate the fact that they always see Triple H as better than Shawn Michaels. He was never better than Shawn Michaels. Like revisionist history show like anytime we look up like like a DX, like DX history or whatever. Anytime you see it, they got Triple H in the middle, not Shawn. No, Shawn was the fucking leader. like,
Yeah,
like if Shawn Michaels never retired the first time, Triple H, yeah, he'll still be a main eventer. Yeah, he'll still win championships. But no, no, not at all.
right. No, I agree. Like again, Sean is like 1,000 times better than Triple H. I'm pretty sure Triple H would admit that. Um, and again, I was never one of those people that like bitched about Triple H, marrying the boss's daughter. But
Oh, I love
in
Triple H, but I'm just saying, like, we're talking about of all time, like, he ain't
no,
better than Shawn or Brett.
well, no, the point I'm making is that revisionist history. Like though WWE will be like Triple H was better than Sean, and he's the biggest superstar of all time. It's like, again, not a hater, but I'm just being honest. So, but yeah, he should not be higher than Brett and Sean,
It's
or even
kind of
or
like
Michael
it's
Mann.
kind of like when they put like A Guerrero as like the number 3 best or however high it was. WWE superstar all the time. Like I love A to death, but that's not correct at all.
Again, if we're going by talent,
Yeah.
if we're going by mat wrestling and technical wrestling, easily top
Oh
5, top
yeah, of
10.
course, but I'm talking about I'm talking about like this list here because obviously we haven't heard about Undertaker or Stone Cold or Rock and Hogan or Cena. I know they're already there on the list. And Roman too. Obviously, I already know those are gonna be the next names coming up. I don't put Eddie Guerrero in that tier.
Right. And again, I hate to say it, but it's just like when he died, that's when he became more popular
Yep.
amongst people. And I hate to say it like that, but it's like it's kind of the truth. Like when you die, your status becomes bigger. But again, love Eddie.
If Chris Benoit were to, let's say he still passed away, but let's say he actually was a part of the murders, right? Like someone murdered him and his family. Let's say Kevin Sullivan did, just for giggles, dark giggles. But let's say Kevin Sullivan did it.
Jesus Christ, dark giggles.
Well, it's dark, I know, but let's just say that Kevin Sullivan did it. Do you think that people will be like, "Oh, Chris Benoit, he's number 2 all time WWE"? Like, no, like Chris Benoit, he won the world title, right? Before that, he was just a mid card guy.
And also Benoit was like one of the lowest drawing champions. Like our friends John Draper and Kevin Castle, they so famously tell the story that they went to Madison Square Garden when Benoit was the champion, and like the place wasn't even full. Like they were able to like skip seats because that's how empty it was. And Eddie is also, last time I checked, I think he's the lowest drawing WWE champion of all time.
They don't want to hear
And
that though. So
even Eddie admitted that. Like
yeah.
he thought he didn't do a good job as the champion because like the ratings and like house shows are low. So, but yeah. Number 6, The Undertaker.
That feels low for him.
He needs to be higher.
To me, I think maybe top 4.
Yeah, it's The Undertaker. Like he's been like he was there before anyone. He was there before. Did he get there before Shawn, or was Shawn already there?
Oh, Shawn was already there. Shawn was there Shawn was there for a few years already.
Yeah, but yeah, he was there before Triple H. He was there before
He was
Austin.
there. He was there before Shawn's singles run because he
Right.
was still in the Rockers. But yeah, Shawn was there like since like Mania, like after Mania 3.
Right. Like he was there during Brock's run. He was there during Batista's run. Orton, John Cena, Roman. So he's the longest tenured guy in the company. I mean, he doesn't work there as a full time wrestler anymore, but definitely should be top 4 at least. Number 5, Roman Reigns.
I mean,
Should not be higher than Taker though.
I think these names here are all. I mean, I don't think Roman should be like number 1, but with the exception of because I mean, that's obviously gonna be Cena, Rock, Hogan, in Austin. That's gonna be coming up next. So like, I'll have Roman. I can see Roman between like as high as 4 and maybe as low as 7, right? But like Taker, if you have Taker number 1, I'm not gonna bitch. If you have Cena number 1, I'm not gonna bitch. You have The Rock number 1, I'm not gonna bitch. You have Hogan number 1, I'm not gonna bitch about it. So it's like It's really just preference at this point.
Right.
I don't think there's a wrong answer for the rest of this list here, but I think Reigns could be like up to number 4, but I don't think no higher than that as of right now. But you gotta think about it. Outside of him and Stone Cold, WWE has never made more money.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. He's box office. Cody told the story. He was on a podcast recently. He talked about how Roman, just the announcement of Roman being on the show sold out, Bad Blood, and he thanked him for the house. So, however anyone feels about Roman sells tickets. He moves merch. I mean, he doesn't need to be the champion. He'll probably be more than likely be the champion later, but like, he doesn't really need to be the champion at this point. He just needs to show up. Number 4, John Cena. Makes sense.
Yeah, again, he could be number 1, and I wouldn't really complain. So,
I mean, he was on top for like over at least close to a decade.
well, over a decade now.
I mean, granted, it was during a time when WWE didn't really have too many stars. I mean, you had Randy, you had Edge.
It was Cena, Batista, Brock, Randy, Punk, Edge. There was some story. Looking back on it, I mean, I know people did like kids now, like who are like 17, 18 in their early 20s. They look back at the PGR very fondly, very fondly.
Right. Which again, the PG era had its moments, had some good moments. But again, the Attitude Era, back in our day, was like you didn't even need to wrestle. You just had to go out there and talk. Like, this is your life, Rock, or Steve Austin and The Rock having a sing off. Like that's what people were there for. That's what those packed houses were there for. But number 3, The Rock.
Yeah, no issues with that. Again, he could be number 1.
Number 2, Hulk Hogan.
Again, he could be number 1. Probably, I think he's the biggest argument to number 1 to Stone Cold. So, I mean, in these lists, you can always you have Steve Austin at number 1, or Hogan at number 1. I mean, Hogan, despite how you feel about him personally, you cannot deny that him and Vince McMahon are the 2 major reasons why we are pro wrestling fans today, bar none.
No arguments there. Hulk Hogan made wrestling what it was today. Vince made it what it was today.
I mean, shitty people, but but when it comes to the pro wrestling thing, I mean, they fucking don't create fucking WrestleManias. Like, without Hogan, we wouldn't have WrestleMania the way it is. Wrestling would not have been mainstream in the mid 80s, right? They're on fucking MTV, like, and they used to have they used to do like the War to Sell the Score and the rock and wrestling. That's why I called the Rock and Wrestling Connection, because it was on MTV, and they used to have WWF on Saturday nights on MTV. So it's yeah, I think Hulk Hogan for that. Like he has his own cartoon and breakfast cereal and all this other shit. Like, if you get your own cereal, you're made.
Yeah, I mean, who else has a cereal? Not even. I don't even think The Rock had a cereal.
No.
Hulk Hogan, I think, is the only wrestler that ever had a cereal, as far as I remember. Any other wrestlers had their own cereal?
The New Day.
Oh, Bootios. Okay.
Well, it was a real cereal. It was a real cereal. It was.
I remember. Yeah, I remember. I asked Betty specifically. I'm like, "Can you buy me Bootios?" And she goes, "No, I'm not buying you Bootios."
Right.
$25 for Lucky Charms. You can just get that for like $3. And then number 1, Steve Austin.
I mean, he revitalized pro wrestling and made it to the biggest money spending thing in the history of the business. Up until now, I think what's going on right now is, on the verge of surpassing the Attitude Era, if it hasn't already. So,
How do you think Steve Austin's career would have panned out if Owen Hart didn't break his neck?
nah, he was still getting very popular.
No,
See,
I know what you mean, but like, do you think his career would have lasted longer?
oh yeah, absolutely.
Right, like we would have seen some like future matchups, but then again, I think WWE always had in the cards to like kind of phase him out. Essentially, like the whole story with he was supposed to wrestle Brock Lesnar on an episode of Raw, which I get. I mean, I was totally Steve Austin, like Team Steve Austin at that point. Of like, so you're gonna have a match with Steve Austin versus Brock Lesnar on a Raw with no build up. Like I get where Steve Austin was coming from with that. He was also hiding the fact that his health wasn't that great.
Right.
And he famously tells a story about how he almost died the night before WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's Steve Austin. I mean, he got me into wrestling. He's the reason why I started watching wrestling in the first place. Um, what else can you say? Like all Steve Austin has to do is just come to the ring. All the fans have to hear is just the glass breaking, and that's it. They're gonna go into a fucking frenzy. All he has to do is just come out there and cut the same promo, drink beer, and flip everybody off and give someone a stunner.
Yeah.
So, what else can you say? But that's Sports Illustrated's top 20. So I have two other lists I want to run by you, if you're okay with that.
Go for it.
So being that it's Hallows Eve, found some Halloween esque related lists revolving around wrestling, and found kind of an older list from 2 years ago. It's wrestling's scare or WWE's scariest moments. So let's check them out. Number 10, Big Daddy Ghoul. Diesel and The Undertaker's 1996 feud wasn't an all-timer or anything, but it certainly had its moments. And I'm pretty sure you remember this. Diesel opens the casket and it's him.
Yep.
So it's Undertaker trying to play mind games with him heading into their WrestleMania match. So do you remember that moment?
Yeah, I do. Yep. It
What'd you
was
think of it?
quite a moment.
Right. And they kind of recreated it later with Undertaker and Randy Orton. So that was pretty cool. Number 9, Savage by Name. If you think if you think of Ricky Steamboat and Randy Savage, you're likely to immediately flash back to their epic show-stealing encounter at WrestleMania 3. Still regarded by many as one of the greatest WrestleMania matches ever, if it was a technical tour de force that in many ways changed the business forever. It shouldn't be forgotten, though, that the Dragon and Macho Man's Intercontinental title bout was taking place on the back of a very effective and, in many ways, a sad angle or scary angle. The two met on the November 22nd, 1986 episode of Superstars of Wrestling, with Steamboat challenging for Savage's IC strap. It ended in a countout, but most don't remember the match quality or the result, but rather Randy Orton's post-match attack. He first hurt Ricky by hitting him while his throat was draped across the guardrail at ringside, before dragging him inside and coming off the top rope with the ring bell. It looked like he was trying to decapitate him as Steamboat convincingly convulsed in pain and was stretchered out of the arena while the commentators speculated on his condition. Do you remember that?
Yep. That was the build for WrestleMania 3. So I wouldn't say that was scary though. Yeah, that was a wrestling angle.
I guess at the time, for like WWF standards, it was kind of scary for kids. I'm pretty sure like Mid South and NWA and AWA did stuff like that, but 19 or no, number 8, Ultimate End, Undertaker and Ultimate Warrior. Man, there's a lot of reading. I didn't know how to do so much reading. The Ultimate Warrior, inherently silly gimmick, was involved in all sorts of nonsense, whether it was having a curse put on him by Papa Shango, or spewing up black goo, or being locked in a room of snakes by Jake Roberts. They were far more frightening to anyone above the age of 5, but more effective was the funeral parlor segment that saw The Undertaker seal Warrior in an airtight casket. Any thoughts on that?
The summer 1991 was just weird in general. So
Number 7, Big Boss Man gets hung. at WrestleMania by The Undertaker. That was just like that. I mean, it's The Undertaker, so you expected some crazy shit, but like, goddamn,
That was nuts at the time.
that was nuts. You can't do that shit anymore. Pretty sure AEW is planning to do that. Number 6, The Fiend emerges. Bray Wyatt debuting The Fiend at SummerSlam 2018. Or no, 2019. Sorry.
I was so scared.
You were?
Oh, I was frightened. Oh man. A grown man in his early 30s was frightened of that.
Well, I mean, it was pretty cool. I'll say that
It was
because like
cool, but
I thought the
yeah.
entrance was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, it's iconic. It's iconic.
Everything else after that was kind of meh. I mean, yeah, he won the title, but like there was the match with Seth at Hell in a Cell where he hits him with the giant hammer, and then they like stop the match. So it's just meh. Number 5, Kane burns Jr. When he had that
Yeah. Yeah, that was at the end of Raw. 2003
yeah, 2003.
or 2002. Whenever Kane
2003.
I'm at
2003.
2003. Yeah, 2003. Yeah,
That's when Kane was maskless and he was, a monster and
yeah.
killing everybody essentially. And then he had an interview with JR and then he set him on fire. And the whole time JR is, selling it. My God! Number 5, the indoctrination of Dennis Knight.
Oh yeah. That's a good one.
The Ministry of Darkness. I don't remember that.
Oh, he fucking Undertaker took a fucking dagger and carved his logo into his chest.
I remember this. I remember when they kidnapped Steve Austin and tried to do that, but I don't remember that.
No, yeah, he carved his fucking logo in his chest and his fucking just bleeding. Like, all right, like this is some sick shit, and I love it.
Number 3, Mankind snaps on Jim Ross. Another Jim Ross interview.
Well, was it when he put the mammal claw on him? I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's yelling.
I can't hear you. Your microphone was cutting out.
We. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Mankind will yell.
Yeah.
Okay, these are just getting silly. I don't even know why this is scary. Number 2, CM Punk sings "Happy Birthday" to Aaliyah.
Skip that one.
It was good heel. It was good heel heat, and CM Punk being creepy, the creepy heel or whatever. But why is that considered scary? I guess when you're Aaliyah, it's scary, but I don't know. Number 1, Savage gets snake bit.
I mean, that was a real snake, and it was really biting him, and he was really bleeding. It was the venomized, obviously. So I don't know if I have it number 1, but hey, man, I have no complaints about that one.
All right.
And fucking Jacob Roberts just fucking slapped the shit out of Miss Elizabeth too. It was great.
Oh yeah, I remember that. So that's the scariest WWE moments, allegedly. I'm gonna have one more. It was Halloween Havoc related, and this is actually a new list. It was on Bleacher. It's ranking the most unforgettable moments in WCW Halloween Havoc history.
Well, let's get the monster truck match out of the way.
All right. Honorable mentions: Tony Schiavone's show opening.
Oh God,
What happened with that?
I think it's when he basically dressed as Dracula and like had the kids like come into his house, whatever. It was stupid.
All right. The red canvas. WCW used a special red canvas for the 1990 show to play up to the ominous feel of
Oh
Halloween season.
Yeah. That was pretty cool. I mean, cool little aesthetic.
Hulk Hogan lays down. Halloween Havoc
Oh
99.
yeah, yeah. So before Jarrett lying down for Hogan, Hogan laid down for Sting.
Oh God. Oh,
Is
I
it?
remember. I remember that. I remember that. And that was when Sting was like, I'm here to have a world title match, and then Goldberg comes out and beats him.
Oh man, I love Russo era. It's fucking
Oh,
the best. It's the best.
I
It's the fucking best, man.
I legit do not remember anything from that era.
Oh, it's the fucking best, man. Just fucking chaos every fucking week. If you're gonna be bad, just have it be fucking chaotic. Like just oh man.
All right. Next is Thunderdome.
Well, with talking about the one with Abdul the Butcher, or
Yes, 1989. Halloween Havoc.
oh, that was not Abdul the Butcher.
For the
Now,
most
I think that's the one with the that's Great Muda and Terry Funk against Sting and Flair.
Yep, that'd be it. Well, those are honorable mentions, so we're gonna get to the top 10.
Oh, lovely.
Number 10, Out with a Whimper. By WCW by 2000, WCW is clearly on its last legs.
Yes, last Halloween Havoc in 2000. Yeah. So
Right.
why is this? So why is this top 10 moments? 'Cause-
Goldberg versus Chronic in a handicap match is the main event of a pay-per-view that saw Jeff Jarrett dressed as Imposter Sting.
no, that show sucked. Why is this top 10?
I don't know. I didn't make.
Well, no, I'm not. I know you didn't make the list, but I'm just saying, like I would have put 99 on there. Fuck, again, at least it was entertaining somewhat, but whatever.
Number 9, would the real Surfer Sting please stand up? The Imposter Sting appeared at 2000 show was not an original idea. There was a throwback at the 1990 show when the Four
Right.
Horsemen concocted a ridiculous plan to screw the icon out of the WCW title.
Yep.
Late in the match, Vicious caught the champion with a power slam off the top ropes and secured the win for the title, or so we thought. As the celebration began, Sting emerged from the locker room and revealed that the man in the face paint was none other than the challenger's fellow Four Horseman, Barry Windham.
Yep. Kabuki. I
Kabuki.
mean, it's Halloween Havoc. Oh my god, just weird.
Spooky. Number 8, Chamber of Horrors, 1991.
Oh, I always get the Chamber of Horrors confused with the Thunderdome. This is the one with fucking Abdul the Butcher
Where you got electrocuted.
from 91. Yeah.
Number 7, Yeti. The Yeti.
1995. How you get the Yeti and the monster truck match in the same night in Halloween Havoc 95?
That was WCW, people.
The same night.
Dungeon of Doom.
Oh my gosh. But you know what though? I'm pretty sure the monster truck has to be on this list. If it's not, this is a fucking stupid ass list. It's already a stupid list, but it'll be even more stupid. Like fucking Hogan kills Hogan kills Big Show, but Big Show ends up coming back later that night to win the title.
Well, Justin, I got a treat for you. Number
It's
6,
number
Monster
6.
Truck Madness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got you. But I'm just saying, it's like and fucking and credit to Bischoff, he sold it. So he was like, no, God no. Hogan's like, help, help.
Help, brother! I think
I
he's
love it.
dead, brother.
It's great.
I don't know CPR, brother. Number 5, Texas Death Match, Cactus Jack and Big Van Vader.
Oh yeah, that was a fucking fantastic match from '93. Fantastic match. One of the best Halloween Havoc matches.
Mhm.
I mean, outside of Ray and Eddie, which I'm sure. I mean, if it's not on the list, then that's if it ain't number like 2 or 1, then that's fucking retarded.
Speaking of the opposite of a classic, number 4, Hogan versus Warrior 2.
Yeah.
where Hogan couldn't get the fire spot.
Yeah, the flash paper, yeah. Hey, but DDP and Goldberg won a damn fucking good match.
That's number 3, production botch.
I mean, minus that, of course, but that was a damn good match. You really thought DDP was gonna win?
That's probably the best match that Goldberg had at that point.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Right, but yeah, I remember that being a good match. But again, production botch, and they had to. And the very next night on Nitro, they just replayed the match in its entirety. So, number 2, Roddy Piper's unforgettable debut.
Oh yeah, '96. That was good. That was so good. It didn't go anywhere, but damn it! At the moment, it was so good.
And number 1, Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio.
Like, one of the best all time pro wrestling matches. So happened on that event.
And that won match of the year that year, I believe.
I don't know.
I think it.
It may have had, but I can't confirm or deny.
Actually, I knew it because I remember seeing a picture of it.
Are you talking from Meltzer? Or are you talking from like
Meltzer,
Meltzer?
PWI.
No, well, PWI is different. So is it PWI or are you talking about Meltzer?
PWI.
Oh, PWI. Okay.
2-1 match of the year. Oh, it was actually Bret Hart and Austin. Never mind.
Yeah.
So Halloween Havoc was 97 that year? Or that match was 97 that year?
Yeah, Halloween Havoc 97, yeah.
Yeah, Bret and Austin won match of the year that year. So makes a lot of sense. But those are my lists that I had. That's all I had. Right. So no news at all. All right. All right.
Oh,
so,
you're asking me? No. I mean, there is the WWE and the with the independent wrestling, like with the 4 schools. I don't know if you've seen or heard about that, but
I heard about it. I don't know. Like, how do you feel about it?
I think it's a great idea for WWE. I mean, you get 4 schools across the countries, and you're with 4 wrestling promotions, and basically it's a gateway to get more talent to WWE through NXT. I have no issues with it.
I mean, didn't I have a feeling like I had a kind of an idea about that, where I was like, do you think NXT should expand into like other cities? But they're doing something different, so I'm fine with it. If, a lot of people are kind of boo-booing over it, because they think it's the end of the indies. I'm like, I think it kind of helps the indies in a way, but
I don't think it helps. I don't think it helps the indies, but at all actually.
It helps people not do reckless shit, and I guess learn wrestling the right way.
That doesn't help the indies. The point of the indies is to do your own shit and get noticed and exposure.
Right.
This does not help the indies whatsoever, because now you're being forced to do, if you want to be part of WWE, if you're in these schools, now you're forced to do a WWE style, which is nothing wrong with that. But if you want to go back out on the indies, you probably have to unlearn some stuff and probably relearn some stuff on some things on how to work the indies the right way, and know what to do as far as how to make yourself marketable in the indies. You know what I mean? Because just because you're marketable in WWE doesn't mean you're marketable in the indies. And we've seen that from talents, many talents before. So yeah, I don't think this helps the indies whatsoever.
Okay. All right. And with that note, we're done. We kind of went through everything we need to go through. Yeah, this Saturday's Crown Jewel. Not sure if we're gonna do a show or not. I'll let you guys know. But yeah, we'll be back next week, same time, same channel. So tell everybody about Spinebuster Tees.
Well, you guys know where to find me, spinebustertees.com. Go ahead and get yourself a t-shirt if you live in the lower 48 of the United States. Got a lot of really good t-shirts online for you guys to get shipped to you, including the Just Enjoy Wrestling t-shirts. the Pineapple Pizza Hill Heat T-shirts, the Weapons of Pro Wrestling T-shirt, the Match Types of Pro Wrestling T-shirt. A lot of T-shirt designs on SpinebusterTees.com. Spinebuster Tees at the Wonderland of the Americas. Come visit me. I have speaking of T-shirts, I have a whole bunch of T-shirts inside my shop, including action figures, Funko Pops, and other goodies for you as well. And also visit me on Spinebuster Tees on my Instagram. Follow me there and keep up to date with me on everything that I'm getting inside my shop. That's inside of Spinebuster Tees at the Wonderland of the Americas. Follow me on Instagram on Spinebuster Tees and SpinebusterTees.com.
Nice. And you know where to find the show. You can find us on Spreaker. You can find us on iTunes. You can find us on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's free. Subscribe, leave a like, comment, do what you will. And DUI Experience on Twitter, X, Instagram. And that's about it. But we're done for the night. We'll see you next week. Have a happy Halloween. Have a safe Halloween, whether you're trick or treating.
We're gonna be here after Halloween and here after the presidential election. So if I don't make it next week, you know why? I may be dead somewhere. So there you go.
Yeah, you'll be fine. We'll all be fine, people. But and then happy safe voting. And whoever you vote for, just don't be a dick about it. Just be cool. Whoever wins, just be cool about it. That's all I'm gonna say. But see y'all next Wednesday, people. Peace out.